my name is Marilyn and I'm randomer than average. Today I'm going to do Rosianna's Lady Survey. And the first question is, who are your favorite female YouTubers? I like Rosianna, I like I Talk to Snakes, but I love Vihart. She's absolutely my favorite. She's absolutely one of my favorite YouTubers, period. Female, male, or otherwise. Who are your favorite female athletes? Well, I don't have any favorite male athletes, so I'm not going to feel even a little bit guilty about saying I don't have a favorite female athlete. And I'm going to move on. What is your favorite book written by a female with a female protagonist? My favorite author who writes books with female protagonists is Jacqueline Carey. And honestly, her books fall into the categories of both sword and sorcery and also trashy novel. But she writes really, really believable female characters. And the writing is just excellent and the plots are just fabulous. And I could read and reread those books 100 times before I can make myself read 50 Shades of Grey. And that's just the way it is. What is your favorite film written by a female with a female protagonist? Now, I don't pay any attention to who writes the movies I watch, so I had to do a little bit of research on this. And I found out that The Empire Strikes Back was written by a woman, or at least written in part by a woman, and that's awesome, but there was not really a female protagonist in that movie. And so I'm going to choose When Harry Met Sally, although the protagonists are kind of both male and female. The thing about movies is that it seems to me that movies for women are written with women protagonists, and movies for men are written with male protagonists. The problem is that women will watch and read books and movies with both female and male protagonists, but men only want to watch and read stories with male protagonists, or at least it seems like that. And I think that this is a really bad thing, not for women, because face it, as a woman, I get a glimpse into the other side of things, but it's a really bad thing for men, because if you only see things from your own point of view, you're getting a really limited perspective on life in general. But that's just my opinion. Who is your favorite female fictional character? How can you possibly choose? There are a million female fictional characters. The problem is that while the pool is very large, it's also very shallow. I mean, we have Laura Croft and we have Lois Lane. Are these the people that we want to be our role models? I say no. Remember Marge Gunderson in Fargo? The pregnant woman who investigated the crime, single-handedly brought in the criminal and then went home to her husband? I like her. She's my favorite. What's the biggest problem facing female creators today, and solutions? Our biggest problem is ourselves. Now don't get me wrong, the playing field is not level. If I were a 40-year-old overweight man, I would have an easier time doing this than I have now. But that's not my biggest problem. My biggest problem is my own insecurity and the fact that I don't produce enough content and I don't work hard enough at making it really good. There are bigots and haters out there. And they are a problem. They're a huge problem, but they're not my biggest problem. And I think that's true of women vloggers, and it's true of men vloggers, and it's true of annoying orange vloggers. It's just true. Do you think YouTube and online video in general are better or worse suited than television for tackling problems and prejudices women face in the workplace? I'm not really qualified to answer this question because I don't really watch television. But based on what I see and hear of television from other media outlets, YouTube really is the place to be. I mean, here we have, no matter who we are, we have a voice. And we are creating and changing this media as it's being built. YouTube is starting to seem like it's a little bit older and there's a huge, huge pool of people, but the fact that I have any viewers at all and I can say anything I want, there's no censorship at all, this is a wonderful place to be. I'm thinking that this is good. What do you pledge to do to make the internet a better environment for all creators? Well, I'm just going to keep being me. I'm going to watch the creators I like. I'm going to comment on their videos. I'm going to call people out when I see them doing something that I think is wrong. And I'm just going to be here. Because let's face it, I happen to be one of the lucky people who was of an age that I don't have to worry so much about peer pressure anymore. And this place really does need a diverse perspective. I look around and I don't see anybody like me, and I think that I have something to add, so I'm sticking around for a while. And that's what I plan on doing. I will be back next week, hopefully next week. I've got some new equipment. I'm still working out the kinks on how everything works, but hopefully I'll be back next week with some creative content, something weird and silly and strange, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.